Whether you're a member of the Star Wars fandom, a Marvel fanatic, or even just a regular movie lover, it's safe to assume that we've all come across one of the many iconic, impressive Óscar Isaac performances. But just how much do you really know about the life of the 43-year-old, Guatemalan-born Óscar Isaac Hernández Estrada before he became the international acting star he is now? Despite an early career start at just age 19 in the 1998 crime drama Illtown, it took a further 15 years before Isaac reached critical acclaim in the Coen Brothers comedy musical Inside Llewyn Davis, a film in which Isaac earned his first of 3 Golden Globe nominations. Much like The Force, the hype around Isaac only grows stronger since the recent box office hit, Dune, as well as the highly anticipated upcoming Marvel Disney Plus series, Moon Knight. But before exploring the bright future of Óscar Isaac, let's find out more about the man behind the screen. Isaac was born on March 9, 1979 in Guatemala City, Guatemala, to Cuban father Oscar Gonzalo Hernandez Cano and Guatemalan mother Maria Eugenia Estrada Nicole. Isaac's family migrated to the United States when he was just 5 months old, moving around until finally settling in Miami. Oscar's by no means the only talented member of the family, however, with his father being a pulmonologist, his older sister Nicole Hernandez Hammer, a climate scientist and activist, and his younger brother Mike Hernandez, a journalist. In a 2013 interview with The Guardian, Isaac opened up about his upbringing in a very Christian household, as his parents were devoted evangelical Christians. The religious household, however, did not create the best environment for Isaac, and he struggled coming to terms with the religion. Telling Rolling Stone, "The social conservative culture wasn't lining up with what I was understanding Jesus was saying." This, alongside his parents' divorce at prime trauma age, is what Isaac claims to have led him to his many school troubles. Although it may be hard to believe, what with Isaac's lovable nature now, he found himself causing many problems at his private grade school, Westminster Christian, that later led to him having his desk screened off from the rest of his classmates and ultimately being expelled. Isaac told details, "I'd petted some animals I wasn't supposed to pet. The school was built around this guy's ranch, and there was a big wall. And we never knew what was on the other side. Me and my friend jumped over and found all these exotic animals, guard emus and the craziest tiny little beavers. We just started petting them all. Why wouldn't you?" But the guy complained. This wasn't all, however. He also said several other hijinks led to the expulsion. Isaac admitted, "I sprayed a fire extinguisher in the gym and defaced a mural. Wrote curse words on all the stairs up to the library like shit, fuck, ass, all the way to the top step." Despite a rocky start to education and all of the acting up, Isaac found his love for the arts, performing at the Arena Stage Company in Miami Beach, as well as playing lead guitar and vocals for ska punk band The Blinking Underdogs. Although the band achieved success and even opened shows for Green Day, Isaac ultimately decided to put the music aside and attended the acting program at New York's most prestigious school, Juilliard, when he was just 22 years old. In an interview with IMDb, Isaac referred back to his first acting credit in Illtown, saying, "It's a shock that I continued to be acting after that because it was a horrible experience. Quite humiliating. Not just because I'm basically just in tiny short shorts and no shirt on the whole time, but also the process was not very nice." Safe to say there's a fan base that appreciates this role despite how small it was. While studying at Juilliard in 2001, Isaac ended up landing one of his first film roles in the action comedy All About the Benjamins alongside Ice Cube, as well as an appearance in Law & Order: Criminal Intent. Isaac started gaining notoriety after his first major film role in 2006, portraying Joseph in the biblical movie The Nativity, as well as stealing scenes from Russell Crowe in 2010's Robin Hood, where he played King John. As previously mentioned, Óscar Isaac started earning critical recognition and notoriety for his portrayal of Llewyn, a talented yet unsuccessful folk singer based in Inside Llewyn Davis. The film took home the Grand Prix prize at the 2013 Cannes Film Festival, as well as earning Isaac a 2014 Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Musical or Comedy. 2014 wasn't just a successful year for the awards, however, as Isaac found himself co-starring with former Juilliard classmate and 3-time Oscar nominee Jessica Chastain in crime drama film A Most Violent Year. In a recent interview with USA Today, Isaac and Chastain showed off their chemistry that makes them so enticing to watch together on screen, and jokingly spoke about the first time they met in class. Isaac stated that he took notice of Chastain while she was performing a monologue as Helen of Troy, to which she responded, "I can't remember the first time we met. It wasn't like this magic moment of, who's that man?" While Isaac feigned hurt and begrudgingly said, maybe not, the internet just used this to prove why the two actors are just meant to be together. Despite losing out on a Globe that year, Isaac earned his redemption 2 years later in 2016, taking home the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Miniseries or Television Film for his work in the HBO miniseries Show Me a Hero. When the announcement came in late 2012 that the Star Wars sequel trilogy was in the works, a whole fan base was reawakened and alive with the possibility of what this could mean for the franchise. It wasn't just the possibility of old, familiar, and beloved faces returning to the screen, but also what new faces would be carrying forward the legacy of the films. Announced in 2014 and landing the role at age 35, Óscar Isaac was a prominent force and a new face to the Star Wars franchise, making his first appearance as X-Wing pilot Poe Dameron in the 2015 record-smashing, highest-grossing movie Star Wars The Force Awakens. Isaac reprised his role as Poe in the following films, Star Wars The Last Jedi and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. As a self-proclaimed huge fan of Star Wars himself, Isaac talked about the experience of working with the original cast members such as Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford, telling IGN Movies, "It was totally like living out a childhood dream, being on those sets and surrounded by those people." Isaac also revealed in an interview with Stephen Colbert on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert that during a scene with his and Carrie Fisher's character, General Organa, she slaps him out of frustration. Isaac went on to relive the day, saying, "A large amount of stuff I got to do was with Carrie, which was amazing. I remember the first day of shooting a scene with Carrie and it was still, oftentimes the first day, the filmmakers, everybody's trying to get the tone and figure it out. And I remember it was in a scene where I come to talk to her and she was very upset with me, and she slaps me. And Ryan kept doing it over and over. It ended up being 27 takes of Carrie just leaning in, and every time she'd hit a different spot on my face." Not only is Isaac a fan, but in an interview on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, he told the host what a huge fan his uncle is. He has like a mini museum with all his action figures in different poses, all in glass. He loves it so much that when I told him I was cast, he got green and hyperventilated. If it already wasn't easy enough to love Isaac, the actor went on to tell the talk show host how he managed to land his uncle a cameo in the first movie. Isaac took his uncle onto the set, despite the extreme security measures. Unaware that his uncle had planned to bring t-shirts to the set, Isaac explained, "My uncle came with all of these shirts he had made that had everyone's name on them. He handed them out to everyone and JJ said, 'You want to be in the movie?'" Not only has Isaac delved into the, albeit overwhelming fandom that Star Wars has, he's also put himself under the immense pressure and high expectation that comic fans place on the movies by playing the villain Apocalypse, also known as En-Sabah Nur in X-Men Apocalypse, the year after the release of the first Star Wars sequel installment. Despite a mediocre response to the film and being one of the more underwhelming box office hits, Isaac's clearly still got the taste for superhero projects, and decided to sign on as the titular character in the highly anticipated, upcoming Disney Plus Marvel TV series, Moon Knight. This will officially mark Isaac's entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. While this might seem a daunting task to most, the 43-year-old seasoned actor is no novice when it comes to large-budget projects, clearly proven by his role in the 2021 science fiction epic Dune. With a whopping $165 million budget and a cast list that spares no names, including the likes of Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, and Jason Momoa, Isaac finds himself a main player as Duke Leto Atreides in this hit that's now up for a staggering 10 Oscar nominations. Despite his performance in Dune being hailed as phenomenal by Cinema Blend's Eric Eisenberg, Isaac nearly had the spotlight stolen from him by his own magnificent beard for the role, a subject which took up much of his questions on the press tour. In a funny Instagram post by Dune co-star Rebecca Ferguson, she joked, "Fun fact about Dune movie, Josh Brolin's hair was cut by me and was used for Óscar Isaac's facial hair." As much as we'd love to believe that was the case, it turns out the majestic beard was actually achieved and maintained by shampoo and conditioning, regular trimming, and of course, a generous amount of beard oil. After the astounding success that previous Marvel TV shows, WandaVision, Loki, and Hawkeye have achieved, it's safe to assume that there were no Marvel fans that weren't holding out high expectations for Moon Knight, which released on Disney Plus on the 30th of March. There's an exciting change happening in the movie and TV industry, and Marvel aren't shying away from that, introducing us to the first superhero with mental health issues. More specifically, Isaac's set to portray the supernatural vigilante with several sides to himself due to a dissociative identity disorder. Names of some of Isaac's character embodiments include Mark Spector, an American mercenary, British gift shop owner Stephen Grant, and of course the titular character, Moon Knight. However, given how Marvel loves their surprises, it's safe to assume Isaac's acting will be tested even further with additional personalities and characters to portray in this show. Now, despite the strong comedic underlyings of the previous Marvel TV shows, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige told IndieWire that this show's set to be a more brutal series. During a feature with USA Today, Isaac explained the importance of the series feeling experimental for the viewers in order to be quite true to the psychological horror of not knowing what's happening and the slow revelations of the truth, and so meaning we're all on the journey of gaining a better understanding of what having dissociative identity disorders like. The importance of the show having mental illness as the forefront doesn't seem to be lost on either of the showrunners, who've addressed the responsibility they have of tackling mental illness, stating, "Whatever we're putting out there in the universe has to be ultimately good and uplifting and have a positive message about mental health. It's amazing that the brain has this survival mechanism, this way to cope." Isaac continued, "At a very young age, if you're going through sustained horrible trauma and abuse, something that can happen in order for one to survive is the brain splits into an alternate personality that has no idea of what's happening. Otherwise, you die because it's just so awful. And that is its own incredible, kind of beautiful superpower." With such a beautiful message and intention, a star-studded cast including the likes of Ethan Hawke, and the inevitable soul-satisfying action sequences, just how can you not be excited for Isaac's next project? For those of us with eyes, it's clear to see that Óscar Isaac is not only gifted with the ability to perform and create work that leaves a lasting impression, but also truly gifted in the looks department. Much to his displeasure, he's been dubbed a sex symbol and commonly referred to as the internet's boyfriend by multiple different sources, and a few more avid Twitter stans. In an article from Rolling Stone, where they titled and referred to Isaac as the internet's boyfriend, Isaac explained the bemusement he has with the fervent female fan base he's acquired, as well as bloggers referring to him as the internet's boyfriend, stating, "The internet never struck me as being into monogamous relationships. It's very promiscuous, the internet." It was also mentioned in Rolling Stone interview how Isaac nearly became a victim of cancel culture in 2015 after an old photo of him wearing a t-shirt showcasing Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. For context, author Ayn Rand was a strident capitalist, and fans took Isaac wearing the shirt and perceived it as a stand for libertarianism. So it's no surprise that within no time, both Tumblr and Twitter users took to their detective work to get to the bottom of the case, as well as many other users making fun of the situation. One Twitter user, @PlantBlogger, tweeted, "Me, Óscar Isaac is perfect and unproblematic. Sees picture of Óscar Isaac wearing Atlas Shrugged t-shirt. Me? I don't know her." Isaac set the record straight in the Rolling Stones interview, however, saying, "I liked the design. I didn't think wearing the shirt was saying I agreed with all her politics. I'm not a libertarian." Although there were downs, there were clearly more ups for Isaac, given that the following year, in 2016, he was named on the annual Time 100 list as one of the year's most influential people in the world. An accolade which, although well-deserved, still came as a shock to some people. A Bustle article titled "Óscar Isaac is the Time 100's Biggest Surprise" went into great detail explaining how the actor actually couldn't be more deserving of this accolade. However, this isn't the only major media outlet that's acknowledged the actor's talent. In a 2017 article, written after his work in the theater portraying Hamlet, Vanity Fair referred to Isaac as the best-dang actor of his generation. And if all of this wasn't already enough, in 2020, the New York Times also ranked him number 14 on the list of the 25 greatest actors of the 21st century. Despite all of the media attention, and every one of his performances seeming to bring a whole fresh wave of memes to social media, nothing would have prepared us for the 2021 red carpet at the Venice International Film Festival, which gave us arguably the most iconic and talked about viral moment of the year. Yep, you guessed it, the slow-motion arm kiss. The slow-motion arm kiss he planted on Scenes from a Marriage co-star Jessica Chastain. To further add fuel to the fire that already burned on Twitter and other social media regarding the chemistry between the two, Chastain talked about the long-lasting friendship she shares with Isaac and told USA Today that the clip may have appeared super sexy, but was in actual fact really funny. She continues, "When you look at it in regular speed, I'm looking straight ahead, and he looks over at me and he just kind of goes to give me a peck on my elbow. And at the same time, I'm going to give him a hug. So all of a sudden, his face ends up in my armpit. He made a joke out of it. Look, he's smiling there." While Oscar hasn't spoke much about the incident since, it's good to know the two of them see the light and fun of the situation and avoid the many rumors swirling around the internet. It's tough to know where to start on Oscar Isaac's personal life, as the actor might be the most secretive person ever. Literally. Isaac has no social media presence, not even any dug-up burner accounts. Simply put, Isaac's just a private guy. With the sometimes overwhelming and invading presence of fans and social media outlets, who can blame him? Before marrying his current wife, Elvira Lind, Isaac was engaged to longtime girlfriend Maria Miranda after proposing in front of the Lincoln Center fountain in 2007, reported by the New York Daily News. The Mirror even referenced Maria Miranda to be Isaac's childhood sweetheart, in a 2010 article stating, "Oscar's still said to be engaged to childhood sweetheart Maria Miranda after proposing in December of 2007. Alas, it was not meant to be. And although there aren't dates on when it happened, the two broke off the engagement and went their separate ways." The article also alluded to a possible love interest in the form of multi-talented and all-around global icon Madonna. W.E. was a 2011 historical romantic drama film written and produced by Madonna to, let's just say, lackluster critical response, in which Oscar Isaac was cast as a security guard, Evgeny. Now, whilst it's never been confirmed and nothing more than a rumor, an on-set source revealed in the Mirror article, Madonna has a crush on Isaac. It's as simple as that. M's never hidden the fact that she loves good-looking Hispanic men around her at all times. It's her type. I mean, in her defense, who can really blame her? Isaac is blessed with good looks as well as talent. Despite all the rumors and past relationships, it seems as though Isaac found his forever woman in the form of Copenhagen-born, 40-year-old screenwriter and director Elvira Lind. The two met at a party around the same time Isaac was prepping for his role in Inside Llewyn Davis. He told NPR that he would go to parties and try to interact the way Llewyn does. "I was sitting in the corner and just eating. I was the only person eating at the party, and this girl who ended up, she's a documentary filmmaker, so obviously she spotted the weirdo and went directly to that one." Not only did they meet while Isaac was working, but they've also had the, what we can only assume, pleasure of working together in 2020's The Letter Room, a short film that Elvira wrote and directed, starring Isaac as Richard. The film went on to win Best Short Film at the Tribeca Film Festival, the Palm Springs International Short Fest, and the Telluride Film Festival, as well as receiving an Oscar nomination for Best Live Action Short Film. Power couple might be an understatement for these two. While Elvira was pregnant with their first child, the couple decided to get married in March 2017. Despite the concept of marriage not having as much importance to Danish people, Isaac explained to GQ, "The Danes, they don't really believe in marriage. I think it has a lot to do with the equality of the sexes over there. Marriage doesn't mean anything financially because the state takes care of people, so the marriage itself becomes less important. Sounds like the Danes are doing it right." The happy couple welcomed their first of two sons, Eugene, in April of 2017, and beautifully gave him his name after Isaac's mother, Eugenia, who sadly passed just a couple of months before his birth. Their second bundle of joy, Mads, was welcomed into the world in October of 2019. When asked what stage of fatherhood he was at by Jimmy Kimmel in 2018, Isaac jokingly responded, "Not sleeping at all." Surprisingly, given everything Isaac's accomplished, been a part of and won, it seems as though his career's only on the rise. And 2022's been nothing short of another year of success for Isaac, and we're only a quarter of the way through. As previously mentioned, Isaac's not only won a Golden Globe for his work in Show Me a Hero, but has also been nominated 2 other times. One of these nominations was for this year's Golden Globes in the Best Actor in a Miniseries or Motion Picture TV category for his performance as Jonathan, where he worked alongside longtime BFF Jessica Chastain in 2021 drama miniseries Scenes from a Marriage. Despite losing out on the Globe, Isaacs had no shortage of other successes in 2022. After landing the gig of host on the iconic, long-running late-night sketch comedy and variety show Saturday Night Live. As one of the most prestigious gigs in show business, Isaac was supposedly there to promote his up-and-coming Marvel series, Moon Knight, and he hosted alongside musical guest Charlie XCX. During the episode, Isaac proved he's no one-trick pony. While his work's mostly been leaning towards the dramatic side of acting, Isaac knocked it out of the park comedically, portraying a range of wacky and hilarious characters. Most notably in a sketch titled Fiction Workshop, where Isaac played a shy, bookworm janitor that's invited to read out some of his own writing. As with any SNL sketch, the twist came when it turns out Isaac's character had written a creepy, erotic fanfiction centered around pop star Dua Lipa. With his natural, hilarious acting chops, we can't help but hope to see him cast in a comedy in the near future. If Isaac wasn't already busy enough as it was, it seems the actor has no plans of slowing down anytime soon, with him already slated and confirmed for a whole batch of exciting and up-and-coming projects. After starring in the 2014 science fiction, Oscar-winning Ex Machina as CEO Nathan Bateman, Isaac's set to star in, as well as produce, The Great Machine, an adaptation of the Brian K. Vaughan and Tony Harris comic book. During a scene in the first film, Ex Machina, where Isaac tears up the dance floor, the internet did what it truly does best and made it a viral meme. Users of various social media platforms took to syncing Isaac's funky dance moves to a slew of different songs ranging from the Earth, Wind & Fire classic September to The Weeknd's I Can't Feel My Face. While it seems Isaac hasn't commented on the viral meme, we can only hope to see another meme surface from this future adaptation. This isn't the only highly anticipated project Isaac has in the works. For any gamer out there, it's safe to assume you've come across the iconic 1998 video game Metal Gear Solid, a game in which players control the main character, Soldier Solid Snake. This game's been on the forefront of gamers' minds for some time, as it was initially announced by Hideo Kojima in 2006 as being in the works, and had many high-profile names rumored to be attached to it, from the likes of Christian Bale to Hugh Jackman. The film finally found its leading man in Óscar Isaac, who has since spoken on the project. In an interview with Total Film, Isaac explained the reason he took the role. "I just love the game. I love the feeling that the game would give me every time I'd play. It's a strangely isolated, mournful, lonely game to play that has these incredible moments of violence and terror, with these weird psychedelic concepts and villains." He goes on to say, "So I think those are the elements that I really love. And like I said, I love the feeling of playing it. And the big question of, can someone like that be transferred, or can you explore those themes in a really interesting way on film? With passion like that, we think it's safe to say that the continuation of the franchise in film form is in very safe hands." This video would seem to never end if we talked about every single project Isaac's tied to or rumored to be a part of. So we'll stick with the most confirmed and anticipated projects for now. Now bear with us while we word this and explain this right. There's no release date yet in sight, but there is an A-list star cast set to appear in the up-and-coming movie about one of the most iconic movies ever made, The Godfather, titled Francis and the Godfather. The cast so far stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Elle Fanning, Elizabeth Moss, and as the original director Francis Ford Coppola, Óscar Isaac. While there isn't much yet revealed about the project nor its release, we can't help but feel that with a cast like this centered around such an iconic movie and Óscar Isaac at the helm, award bells are ringing for the future. We have more documentaries on your favorite actors shown on screen now for you to watch, so I'll see you there. If you enjoyed this documentary on Óscar Isaac, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. These videos take an incredibly long time to make, and your support would really help. Thanks!